everybody, welcome to another episode of the Dayton Drama Queens. I'm Josh Stuckey.
And I'm Philip Drennan.
We're so excited to be with you guys again. We want to thank you from the outset. Our numbers are increasing. We're getting so many listeners and watchers. Philip is rejoining us.
It's actually just me watching myself over and over again and just refreshing.
It's kind of funny, though, because it's kind of competitive among the people that have been on the show.
I know.
Yeah. So if you're one of the people that have been on the show and you're looking at your views and you're in last place, time to do some self-marketing.
It really I think they're actually winning because it means that they've really whittled down the people that they're around to very few, which I think is very smart right now.
That is smart right now,
you know,
especially with social media.
Exactly.
Anyway, boy, do we have an interesting guest for you today. We are with Dan Zehringer.
Well, hey there, Josh.
Hey there.
How's it going?
So glad you're with us.
Yeah.
Dan is with Wright State University, and we'll get into a little bit about everything that you do there.
Sure.
But to start off with, we really try to highlight the Dayton Arts.
Right.
So what is your affiliation? How did you end up in Dayton, Ohio?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I moved to Dayton in 2006 because of Wright State.
Yay!
Okay.
Yes, excellent.
Raider up.
Exactly. Raider up is the
Raider
sign.
up.
Raider
Raider
up.
up.
Okay.
Got it.
I've never
And
seen that.
I've been here ever since. I was hired as the trumpet professor.
Okay.
And so what I did was I recruited students from Raider country and from all over the U.S. to come to Wright State.
Yeah.
And a lot of them were ed majors, some were performance majors.
Yeah.
But that is what I did up until 2018, and I became the chair of the School of Music.
Oh my
And
gosh.
that is when I kind of really started taking over the Arts Gala and being heavily involved in that venture.
Okay.
And then 3 years ago, we merged, and I became the chair of all of the arts at Wright State.
Wow.
So it is a
Yeah.
lot. It is a lot of drama in a great way. A lot of really interesting people who are from all over. Very interesting. Students who are from all over. Some are from Dayton. Some are from Chicago, New York. A lot of international students as well.
That's great.
So it's a really great place to be because the students are so diverse and their passions are so strong.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely.
So tell me this.
Yes.
When did you know that you were a musician? Did you try other instruments? How'd you end up with the trumpet? What was your great love that,
You know what, Josh? What we need right now is this clip of me from when I was like 3 years old.
Yes.
Marching
Cue the
my
in my
God.
house. Yeah, with a piece of brass that was my sisters all played instruments.
Okay.
And so I loved marching band even as a little kid.
Wow.
And as soon as I could play the trumpet, I wanted to play the trumpet. I picked that up, and it's been my passion ever since.
Yeah.
Were your siblings all wind players
Yes,
as well? Brass?
absolutely. I am the youngest of a very large family.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And all of my older sisters played in the band. They were all mostly brass players, some
Okay.
woodwind players.
Gotcha.
But they had a dance band in the late 70s, early 80s that would play at weddings and things like
Really?
that. Yeah, and they would
Fun.
rehearse in our garage.
I love that. So you just grew up like watching all of this happen.
I grew up saturated with music. I thought that everybody practiced hours a day. I thought that was
Yeah.
the norm.
Wow.
Little
Lucky
did you
me,
know.
little Danny Zehringer.
Yeah. I mean, it prepared you for marching band for sure.
Oh, it did, and
Yeah.
I loved the marching bands.
Well, I was a band nerd myself, and I was also in marching band. And I have to
yes.
say, although I was friends with the trumpet players, there was always kind of a bit of like an air about the trumpet section, a bit of an attitude, if you will.
Yeah, I think
is
that-
that just like universal?
I think that's universal.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
It is. Trumpet players tend to be they're intuitively leaders.
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Uh-huh.
So they tend to have that type of personality
Sure.
a lot as well.
Okay.
So
And
it's
that played out well because being the leader of Wright State's arts.
it all comes together.
It
in
does
the
come
end.
together. It really does.
It
It's
really
weird.
does.
how
I was
it
a
all works out.
saxophone player, and I feel like the
Aw.
sax section was always kind of like, whatever. Like, we did what we needed to do, but,
Well, I was the drum major, guys. Remember?
Josh, I
I
want to
was
see
too.
you
Were you the
twirling.
drum major?
Yeah.
You were too.
Oh my God.
My junior, senior year. I was
In
a
the
drum
presence
teacher.
of greatness.
I mean,
This has turned into the gayest podcast ever.
and should we start an adult gay marching band?
We need to.
That would be
indeed.
It would be kind of
Yes.
fun.
That would be hilarious. Now back to Wright State. So tell me this, being the chair of all the arts,
Sure.
does that include like, you're talking dance?
Oh, yeah,
theater?
Josh. All of it.
All of it.
So there's 11 programs.
Oh my gosh. I
Is
had
it
no
just
idea.
performing arts, or is it?
It's art and art history.
Okay.
Motion pictures, BFA and
Yes.
BA. And then music, performance ed and BA.
Wow.
And the whole complement of what comes with our theater department, which would be acting, musical theater, design technology,
Yeah.
theater studies, and dance.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's a
the
lot of
full
people.
gamut of students from sculptors to dancers, musicians, composers, playwrights, editors,
Yeah.
you name it.
That's
amazing.
incredible.
So it is really such a diverse place.
Yeah.
And as soon as you walk in that creative arts center, you're immediately seeing students practicing their lines, or you hear students singing or playing instruments. Lots of dancers. So it's a lot of energy all the time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it keeps me on my toes, that's for sure.
Well, and it is so well known nationally.
Yes.
The MOPICS program,
of course.
the theater program especially. We have some big names right now on Broadway who
Absolutely.
are Wright State.
Yeah.
Nicole Scherzinger,
Yeah.
who is
Yes.
who is killing it right now in Sunset Boulevard.
She
Just
certainly
an example.
is. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Nicole has been someone that we've been so proud of at
sure.
the university for so many years, from her rise as, being a freshman, sophomore at Wright State, and then going right into the field and being successful,
Yeah.
all the way up till now with her
Yes.
American Sunset Boulevard debut.
Yeah.
Right.
And from all the reviews, she's just really killing it.
just getting
so.
raves.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we'd love to get her back sometime. Nicole, if you're watching.
Oh, she's watching.
on.
Oh, we'd love to
Nicole.
have you
Watching.
come back.
Nicole, hey girl.
Girl.
Hey, girl. Yeah, we really take pride in all of our students.
Sure.
But we do have a couple of gems out there. Joey Monda is another person
Joey
that comes
Monda,
to
yes,
mind.
right, yeah.
3-time Tony winner.
Yes.
He is just really doing well. Hannah Beekler from our
Is that
motion
the-
pictures
I was going to say, is that the
department.
director?
Yes, with
right.
Black Panther. She just won
Yes.
her first Oscar a
Incredible.
number of years ago, and
That's awesome.
and then of course Julia Reichert,
Yeah.
who is one of our
I just got
retired
goosebumps on
alumni.
Julia. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
So
great lady.
just a wide variety of students. Some go out, have critical success and acclaim right away. Others, they have a normal career path. Maybe it's performing on a cruise ship or
Oh, sure.
doing musical theater locally and regionally and nationally. So, and singers and musicians who are playing with orchestras and getting college jobs. You never know where the career is going to go once they leave.
It's so easy to see these people that have, this kind of extreme success.
Yeah.
But I think as an artist, really, the goal is just to work and to see so many
is.
people work consistently. And, maybe they're not making headlines, but they're working in their field. And sometimes that field continues into administration or whatever it is. But just to see so many of those graduates go on and continue in their field is incredible.
Phil, that is exactly right. I mean, I used to tell my students when they would come in, like, I know that you want to be this one thing. You want to be a band director, if that's the case.
Right.
But you never know if that's really what you're going to end up doing.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be a performer on stage, but maybe life takes you in a different direction and you end up being the best stage manager that ever existed.
Right.
Or fill in the blank.
Yeah.
So what we are really trying to do now to really kind of stay current and provide our students with the best opportunities is to provide them with different certificates and different trainings so that maybe they do want to go into arts administration when they leave Wright State. So we have that conservatory model training that we really focus on, but we also try to give them quite a wide variety of things that they can have in their tool belt.
Yeah.
So that they can be successful when they leave,
I know I shared with you, we were at an Arts Gala meeting. Arts Gala we'll talk about in a second, but we're at an Arts Gala meeting, and you talk about the Creative Arts Building that has that incredible energy. You cannot explain it. But I was with my father visiting different colleges before I decided to go to Wright State. And when I walked in that Creative Arts Building is when I knew. And there was something to all those rehearsal spaces, being alive and going and doing their thing. I would imagine that someone who works in that kind of environment every day, it's just got to be something that the soul gets filled by what you're doing. So it goes beyond just the brain and the heart, but it's that soul feeling. Do you feel that with the other people that are in your building at Wright State?
Absolutely, of course. You feel it from the students.
Okay.
Immediately,
Yeah.
right? As soon as, like I said, as soon as you walk in the building, you see it.
Yeah.
You hear it.
Yeah.
And the faculty as well. We don't have as much burnout because
Oh.
they're constantly working with students on that next show, the next concert,
Yeah, that's
the next film. So there's always creative energy swirling. I find myself a lot sitting at my desk, answering emails and talking with folks. And when I feel myself getting a little, I need to take a break, I always walk around the building.
Oh, I can see.
Yeah.
That gives me like this. I love that feeling.
It is something that I truly understand is a gift for what I do.
Yeah.
In the fact that I don't just have to stay in the office. I can go outside, interact with these artists, watch them, sit and just watch these students blossom. And that is such a treat. I really get a lot out of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, speaking of Arts Gala, which for those of you who know, Wright State yearly does a huge, basically a fundraiser.
That's right.
Called Arts Gala. Tell us just a little bit about that.
Absolutely. Arts Gala was started, 25 years ago. This is going to be our 26th Arts Gala.
Yeah.
And it is an evening. We always have it in the spring. We try to have it the first Saturday in April. That's when it is this year,
Yeah.
April 5th
Yep.
at 7 p.m. at Wright State University in the Creative Arts Center. And the whole idea behind this is to provide students with scholarships so that they can focus on their craft.
Wow.
And over the years, I believe we've raised $4 million in scholarships.
Wow.
That's incredible.
Isn't that a lot?
That's
Yeah.
unbelievable.
It really is.
That's
And
beyond life-changing. That's, what more could you do for somebody,
Right.
really?
Absolutely.
And these students, Josh, you've heard them speak
I have.
at different
have.
Arts Gala events. And when you hear their story and you hear how these scholarships allowed them to maybe not work 2 jobs and maybe just work 1 job, anytime the students have to work an outside job, it takes away from them focusing their energy on their craft. And as we all know, you got to pay the bills. But
sure.
these students really work hard, and these Arts Gala scholarships that we give out every year allow those students to focus, to blossom in ways that they maybe not would have had the chance to do without that
Yeah.
money. Yeah.
And so, Philip, you went to CCM.
I did.
So I'm sure you know what he speaks of when it comes to that whole artistic journey that people go on. What is that like as the student side of all of this?
When you're a student in college studying art, you get so sort of caught up in school. I mean, it's just from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep.
Right.
You're just working and rehearsing. And if you go to a state school, also cramming for like European civilization or something
God,
stupid
that's right.
on
Yes,
top of
absolutely.
it. Not stupid, that's important too, I guess.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I think the community support, we did very similar things. We had this, it was called Movable Feast at CCM, which kind of was opened up to the public, and you got to see a glimpse of all the different mediums and art forms and things
So
like that.
impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I never got a talent scholarship when I went there. But I got a
Exposed
I
on
got a
DDQ.
small academic scholarship. Okay.
Okay, good enough. Good
yeah,
enough. We're proud of you.
So, but no, I mean, it's so important because it makes me so sad, especially to see young people not pursue
Oh, I know.
their passion or their talent because they can't. I mean, they can't
Right.
afford to do
Right,
it.
yeah.
And if you like you said, Dan, I mean, we have to pay the bills, but if that becomes your entire life, when do you get the chance
That's right.
to work on your craft? And I think people sometimes forget how much art is a part of everyone's lives.
Yeah,
I
right.
mean, it kills me to see people ever say that it's not essential when it's like, what do you do at the end of your day? You go home and you turn on Netflix. You read a book. You're going outside. You may not even realize that you pass these beautiful murals that make you smile on a bad day. I mean, all of these things came from artists.
True.
And so we have to continue to cultivate that.
Right, and how do you feel
Absolutely.
the arts environment is? I mean, with all the changes going on in our country, what do you think about what's happening?
There certainly is a lot of change.
There's a
going
lot of
on. And
change.
speaking of change, I mean, COVID really changed
Everything. It did.
It really did. And we could see how that affected the students in questioning the fact that should I be going into becoming a dancer or not? You know, there were a few years where students were really questioning themselves a lot because we got to see everything shut down.
Yes.
You know, but the energy has come back. It really has come back.
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things I like to talk about with the gala is it's not just an investment in Wright State students. The gala is an investment in arts for the community and for our country and really for the world, because we're saying if we support these student scholarships, we're investing in the future of the arts. And so it really is more than just a university doing a fundraising event. It really is about inviting the community to come in and say, hey, here's an opportunity for you to make an investment in the future of the arts in our country.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And that's such a great way to frame it.
Yeah. What kind of performances and things can people expect at the Arts Gala?
Great question. It is a jam-packed evening. It is. And you really are. It's not possible to see every event that goes on in that evening.
True.
For those of you who've been there before, we have the Festival Playhouse, which is the main stage for our theater productions. So there'll be like a 35-minute, very condensed show that goes on in there. In our Schuster Hall, we'll have different, maybe the jazz band will do a 35-minute set, and the percussion ensemble, or it varies every year. And then we have the dance studios doing a little set, and then 7 different individually themed rooms where we take the classrooms, we zhuzh them up. We have different caterers in each room, so there's food in all of the different rooms.
Tons
A
of food.
lot.
Yes, booze.
Lots of booze.
Yes,
There's 7
yes,
bars as
true.
well. We also have a cigar lounge for those who want to sit and smoke a cigar. And we know that it's that time of year where there's some sports ball things that are going on.
Sports ball.
And if you are into that, we want you to come as well. And if you want to catch up on the scores of some of those games, we have a few screens where you can check that out as well, because sometimes it can be a little overwhelming if someone's venturing into arts for the first time. But hey,
That's so smart. Like, I mean, I hate to like gender this, but you know, if the wife is really enjoying this dance piece and Mr. Williams wants to go watch the game for a little bit and check out, that is genius.
It is genius.
Yeah.
So smart.
it is,
So smart.
and we've received feedback every year, and that's always one of the things that we get is thank you for having a space for us to just sit, talk with friends, or maybe have a bourbon tasting, or I think this year we're doing tequila tastings.
Oh,
as
fun.
well.
You are saying all of the right words.
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
And then the food, of course.
It's amazing.
All of the
Yes.
caterers, multiple caterers from the community here as well. A wide variety of food. We sometimes try to style it with the rooms. So if the opera is doing an Italian opera, we might try to do some Italian food in there.
Smart.
And so we do pay attention to those finer things. We also have a silent auction.
With good things.
With good things
It's not
in
one
it.
of your, it's a good silent auction. Yes.
There's fun trips that are available. We have some experiences as well, all different types of experiences. If you want to specifically sponsor a specific student, maybe a sculpting student, you can do that in the silent auction, or buy a set of dance shoes.
Oh, so if you're really interested in
A
one
specific thing.
wow,
Yeah.
that is great.
It's a genius.
Yeah.
It's genius. And I will tell you, Dan knows this. Most of my class this year that I teach out there are music students. And they're all like, if I throw my name in there, will you sponsor me? I'm like, market yourself.
Exactly.
So funny, but
Well, most of them probably just need like a new car or something. Just throw 'em, give them
Josh, you going to sponsor?
Oh, sure, why not?
What the heck?
They're so
What the
cute.
heck?
They're so cute. But yeah, it's great. I think it's an amazing program and an amazing, what I've loved about, because I've been going for years.
Sure.
What I love most about it is the new people that walk in are floored by what goes on in that place. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're like, this was beyond anything I ever thought. So it's just really
Yeah, well, it sounds like a great way too, because not everybody is going to get to every show.
No,
Yeah.
it's not possible.
And sometimes can't get to any shows, but to
Right.
go to this one event, get to see a little bit of everything, support the students, support the school. What a great way to just do that in one night.
It really is. We started a couple of years ago by doing an opening ceremony. And at that opening ceremony, we have 6 different students or groups perform like a 4-minute piece so that folks who come to that opening ceremony can at least see
a little bit of
everything.
Yeah, it works perfectly.
Because those who are new, Josh, they do come in, their eyes are this big, and they, how can I go to, I want to check out this, and I want to go to that.
Yes.
It's not possible to hit everything. So you're just going to have to keep coming back year after year.
That's exactly right.
To get everything in. I think that's part of the plan.
It is definitely part of the plan. Listen, we want to thank you so much for spending time with
thank
us
you,
today.
Josh.
This
Thank
was
you for having
incredible.
me.
Really was.
Thank you, Josh. Thanks.
So
Bill.
if people want to find out more information and put it on their calendars and
Yes.
secure tickets and everything, how do they go about doing that?
No problem. The event is on April the 5th, which is a Saturday, first Saturday in April. Starts at 7 p.m.
Yep.
And if you want to find out more information, you can go to www.wright, that's WRIGHT, .edu/Arts Gala, or you can just type in Arts Gala 2025 and it'll take you right to our page. You can see our sponsors.
Perfect.
You can see the different ticket prices, all the events that are going on. It's all there for you. You can even watch reels from past Arts Galas.
Oh, that's a great
Love
idea.
that. That's great.
Thank you again.
Awesome.
Thank
Yeah.
you for
so
having
much.
me
Yeah,
in.
thanks, Dan.
I hope that you both can make it again.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
we have to mention that Josh is our host this year
No, yes,
for the
well,
Arts Gala.
Thank you
So,
all. Thank you.
Thanks for taking
gonna be
that on,
incredible.
Josh. I
I'm
appreciate
excited
it.
about that.
Anyway, thank you to Square One Salon and Spa for sponsoring DDQ. Thank you once again to Dan Zehringer.
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody listen, what a gem we have at Wright State University. Check it out. Their sports, their drama, all of it. It's a great place to be. Good to
Rate her
see you,
up.
Philip.
Good to
And
see
we'll
you,
see you
Josh.
once again on the next DDQ.
Sounds
Thanks,
good.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.